Hamer, various other people that have all spoken and given their time today. We do appreciate that. And finally, I would like to thank Audrey, who has organised today's events. And as we said at the beginning, we owe a huge debt to Canary Wharf Properties that sponsored today's event and made us feel so welcome. So thank them as well. Now it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Sir Edward Davey.
Thank you, Chris, and I actually want to send a big thank you to you. You have been a fantastic chair of the region, and so I think we should all give you a huge congratulations, and the first drinks are on you. And congratulations to Ben Sims, who's now going to fill your shoes. Where's Ben? He's gone. Probably to the pub. But thanks to all of you and the whole of our massive party now here in London Region. We've gone through an internal selection which I think has been really positive, and we have a fantastic slate of Assembly candidates and a fantastic mayoral candidate. I'm going to come to her in a second. My job is to persuade you to give more money than you intended to. We now, on the back of this amazing selection campaign, we've got the chance of doing something really special. We've got nearly 18 months to do it in. But the key thing will be raising money early. We're going to be raising a lot of money. We've got a target of £1 million to raise between now and spending it by May 2020. But actually, often in campaigns, it's the money you get right at the beginning, so you can get going and doing the work. And that's today, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't tell you that on the invite, but this is a really important part of the campaign. And I'm hoping to raise 4 figures in a second. But to encourage you to do that, I have had a message from a former Boris. Now, Boris says that he wants to donate some water cannons. They only cost £330,000. Someone's offered £11,000. But I'm not sure if we can get much more. And there was an example of Tory profligacy, and then the Garden Bridge and the rest. What an appalling mayor he was. What an appalling politician he is. And when we run our campaign, we will be the party championing the European Union, Brexit or no Brexit. We will be the party saying, if you want a Liberal Party, you want a party that represents the capital, who represents everyone in the capital, you've got to vote Liberal Democrat. So we've got a strong message, and that's why you're going to dig deep. And you're going to dig deep because this is going to be a rally and a half like we've never had before. I remember going to a rally in Colorado. I was very lucky enough to go to the inauguration of President Obama as the Democrat candidate first time round. And we sat in the gods because we weren't Americans, so we got the worst seats in the House, of course. But we still put up our sign saying, yes, we can. And that really made you excited and even give money, although I wasn't allowed to because of foreign, which was great. And I want you to be putting these up in a bit for the cameras, because we are demanding better. We are restless for change in our party. We want to change our city, we want to change our country, we want to change our world. We demand better, we're restless. And we can demand better by demanding better. Before I introduce John properly, we've got to start digging deep. So, I set the target at 4 figures, and I'm looking for someone who wants to really make our life easy by putting their hand up and giving 4 figures immediately. If you do offer me 4 figures, there's a free glass of wine in House of Commons. The most expensive glass of wine you ever have. But there we are. Anyone want to go that far? Who wants to go to £500? So I hear anyone who wants to give £500? Susan Wade! Fantastic. I'm not going to stop it.
Go now.
Who wants to give 100? Do we hear 100? 100 for Caroline, 100 over there. Oh, this is fantastic. Brilliant. So you've got all those up, and we're filming you. So thank you very much. That was a sea of hands. So we're already over 1,000. But you've got these forms on your seats. We take cash, we take checks, we take credit cards. And I believe we can take credit card payments? Yes. We can. And of course, you can even do this in the secrecy of this room. So please give generously. It will make all the difference. We've already hit 4 figures. Let's see if we can hit 5 figures with a lot of your generosity. So thank you very, very much for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, in a minute we're going to watch a little video before Siobhan comes on. But I just want to say, when I walked in my constituency along Westbury Road and knocked on this lady's door, she and her family were there and was so deeply impressed with what they wanted to do. Siobhan has already impressed many people in this capital already with her amazing campaign in 2012, which was basically on the Liberal manifesto. But she has shown huge leadership in a relatively short time. And I am convinced this is going to be one of the most exciting mayoral campaigns we have ever had. And you know, we've got a Labour mayor who's frankly not doing very well. He's really performing badly. And thanks to George Osborne, my old cabinet colleague, he's really got the knife in to Sadiq, so we need to worry about that. And then the Tories, because they just love us, they've given us a Christmas present. And you know, the only worry is that they're going to get rid of him before the election, but let's not worry about that. He's already there, and is having a nice Brexiteer who's got a pretty dodgy background, I think gives us a huge opportunity. So I think we can really do the unexpected, and I think we can take this city. And because we've got such a fantastic mayoral candidate, I believe this is our moment. So friends, can we look at the video now?
I'm so excited to be here. I'm not quite as excited as my French mother-in-law, who phoned me yesterday morning to congratulate me on becoming the Mayor of London. So I think it's slightly lost in translation, but still, it is very, very exciting. This is all actually new for me because when I ran before, I ran as an independent, so being part of this party machine is wonderful. And I wasn't really sure what to expect today. This is my first speech in an official elected position for the party. And I have to say, the advice from HQ was very helpful. So I've been told that I should speak for around 10 to 15 minutes, so I'll try and stick to that. I know Ed's got a train he needs to catch as well. But the advice was also rather daunting, because apparently it's my job today to leave you all feeling roused. Not aroused. I'll leave the erotic spasms to Vince. So I need to leave you motivated and energised before we head off to the post-conference drinks. So no pressure at all. But anyway, before I get into that rousing, I do want to say some thank yous. I'd like to thank Brian Arell, there's Brian there, and I'd like to thank Sec Tallick and Bob Charlesworth for overseeing the selection process and ensuring that all of those millions and millions of queries that arise in the type of process that we went through were dealt with very smoothly and very swiftly. And I know that there were many, many other colleagues who had been working behind the scenes to ensure that this selection process was a success. So a big, big thank you from me to everyone who was involved. I'd also like to say a personal thanks to all the other mayoral candidates. Lucy, Rob is here. I'm not sure if Dinesh is still here. It really was a pleasure getting to know you all. And we crisscrossed London together. We spoke at so many of the same events that I'm sure we could actually now give each other's pitches, word for word, if we were asked to do that. But it was really wonderful to be part of a respectful contest that offered our members real choice. And it says great things about the state of our party that we had such high calibre people stepping forward to represent us. It's particularly good for me because I now look forward to harnessing their talents, their energy, their ideas, and Dinesh, their resources. That for him. Talking of high calibre people, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate our wonderful list candidates. Many of them, I think almost all of them, are here today. Caroline's a familiar face to most people here, has spoken earlier today, and she's been an inspiration to me and others for her tireless work in holding this and previous mayors to account, and I'm really delighted that you're going to be leading our list again. But in addition, anyone who knows me from work I did on civil service reform will know how much I care about diversity. London is the best city on earth precisely because it's open, it's multicultural, it celebrates diversity. And I've always advocated that our public leaders should reflect the diversity of the people they serve. This is not tokenistic. When policies are developed and decisions about public services are taken, they're only going to be effective in making people's lives better if diverse voices and opinions are listened to and that whole range of experiences are understood and taken into account. Our party is changing fast, and every day we reflect that diversity a little bit more. So I'm over the moon with our dream team of Assembly candidates, and I'm sure, if you would like to stand up, that they make everybody feel very proud to be what they are. Just before you sit down, I do want to say that alongside strong women, we also celebrate strong men. And I want to say I'm particularly pleased to see that our outgoing London chair, Chris Mains, is lending some gender balance to the top. Thank you all. And finally, on the thank yous, I had a small but perfectly formed team helping me with my campaign. They know who they are, several of them are here now. You really are wonderful, and I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you. Before I get on to the 2020 campaign itself, I also want to say something about Brexit. as I'm sure it will play a central part in our London campaign, whichever direction our turbulent politics may take us in. I joined the party on the morning of the referendum result, and in that respect, I think I'm typical of many of our London members who have joined the Lib Dems in the past few years because of Brexit and because of a frustration with the dysfunctionality, and it has to be said, the dishonesty of our two main parties. I'm extremely proud now to represent the party that has been consistent in its opposition to Brexit. When we first called for a people's vote, other parties said we were wrong. They said we were undemocratic. They said it wouldn't happen in a million years. Well, they're not saying that now. With both the Tories and Labour in political meltdown over Brexit, our party stands as a beacon of unity and common sense. A people's vote is not just possible, it's probable. Brexit would be bad for London, bad for the country, and would hit the most vulnerable people in our society the hardest. Our approach was, is, and will continue to be the right one, and we should be enormously proud of that. We will also fight the hatred and the division that Brexit has unleashed. My husband's French. He's lived here, worked here, and contributed to this country for 25 years. And last week, Theresa May said that he was a queue-jumping foreigner. She was hostile before, and she remains hostile now. As Liberal Democrats, particularly in London, where we rely so heavily on European labour and trade, we will continue to champion the benefits of immigration and of free movement. We will continue to present a progressive, patriotic vision of the UK, one that embraces European collaboration and unity, one that looks outwards to international cooperation, and one that rejects the type of ignorant and destructive right-wing populism that too many of our other politicians are willing to peddle or to overlook. So, 2020 really is a unique opportunity for the Liberal Democrats. We've heard it a lot today, but I'm going to say it again. And there are two main reasons why. First, as Vince and as Ed have mentioned, the current mayor is failing to tackle the big issues that Londoners care about most, and consequently his popularity is falling fast. On knife crime and serious violence, Sadiq has shown very poor leadership. He's not providing Londoners with the reassurance that they desperately need to make them feel safe in their own communities. The public health approach to tackling crime is the right way forward. We've seen this from the tremendous results in Scotland and elsewhere, as Caroline mentioned earlier. So I do welcome the creation of the Violence Reduction Unit in London, but we need to see more than just the words. For the past 2 years, I've been a member of Parliament's Cross-Party Commission on Serious Youth Violence. And in fact, we've been calling for a London VRU since we began our work in 2016. What I know from this work is that a public health approach requires fundamental change in the way that organisations, councils, charities, businesses, communities, the police and individuals collaborate and work together. None of that is happening at City Hall, and there's a worrying lack of urgency. It's still not clear, for example, who will lead the VRU or how young people themselves will be represented in this new unit. The world has to do better than that. Crucially, my work on the Commission also taught me that no strategy to tackle serious violence will be successful if it doesn't address the underlying causes of violence. This came up in the session before. Those underlying causes are to do with poverty, they're to do with the decimated children's and youth services, they're to do with undiagnosed mental health issues, lack of opportunities and lack of hope. As Liberal Democrats who have long advocated for parity between mental health and other national health services, I know that we understand these root causes. I know that we can build a better future for our young people. A future in which we recognise the challenges they face from an early age. in which we provide the support they and their families need to steer them away from the hopelessness and the crutches of organised crime. A future in which all Londoners can thrive, no matter what their background or their postcode, and in which all Londoners will feel safe. While the current mayor is right to call for more policing resources, he can't abdicate responsibility for the immediate issues. It's his decision to shut local police stations, his decision to merge borough commands. These decisions fly in the face of a public health approach that places police firmly at the centre of local communities, where they can build trust and relationships, where they can gather valuable intelligence and respond to local needs. Our London campaign will fight to protect local police stations, to reverse the damaging restructuring that has led to increases in emergency response time, and that will genuinely restore community policing across London. But it's not just on crime that Sadiq is failing Londoners. On housing, the environment and transport too, he's not living up to his promises. There are still far too many Londoners struggling to make ends meet, who can't afford to own a house or even to rent, who are living in bad quality housing or sleeping on the streets. There are too many people and businesses affected by tube strikes, the near daily misery of cancelled commuter trains, the threat of bus routes being closed, and who have been let down by the severe delay to the opening of Crossrail. And there are too many Londoners suffering from our terrible air quality, which all the evidence shows leads to serious health problems, including asthma, but also early onset dementia and other conditions. While I do believe that London is the best city on earth, it pains me that we still have all these issues, and I know that a mayor can do better than this. We have a fantastic opportunity now, over the coming 18 months, because we've selected so early, to build a manifesto that shows just how wonderful London will be with a Liberal mayor at City Hall. And I look forward to drawing on the talents and the expertise that we have in our party to develop that policy offer. Our manifesto for 2020 will be Liberal at its core. It will be pro-business, pro-markets, pro-individual choice, but also determined to ensure that all Londoners are able to enjoy the amazing things that this amazing city offers. That all Londoners can expect, at the very least, a nice place to call home, affordable and reliable transport across the city, and clean air to breathe. It will, it must, be a manifesto that appeals to voters of all parties. London isn't a Labour city. It's a progressive, Liberal city. And we are the progressive Liberal Party. So no more talk of a new centrist party here. I fully expect to see Chuka Umunna and Anna Soubry sat in this hall this time next year. The second reason, that was just the first. The second reason why 2020 is such a unique opportunity for us, as we've heard, is that the Conservatives, for the first time since the mayoral position was created, do not have a big name in this race. Sean Bailey is a Brexiteer and is already under attack for his really illiberal views and some of the awful comments he's made, for example, on single mothers and minority communities. By selecting Sean, the Tories have shown just how out of touch they are with Liberal London. He won't go down well with voters who are looking for a fresh alternative, and that is all the better for us. Only our party, who are already winning council seats and by-elections across the capital, can take that. And it seems from Twitter that I already have some Tories rattled. There are two conversations happening, both quite amusing to me, as they are based on fake news, when Tories are trying to cause mischief. One is claiming that I'm against stop and search, and the other that I'm supporting Heathrow expansion. Let me say now, neither of these things are true. I'm not opposed to stop and search, but I am opposed to stop and search that is not targeted or intelligence-led, because it does more harm than good. And on Heathrow, because I've been asked, let me say clearly, I am firmly behind the party position. Just as we are urging the country to think again about Brexit, I thought again about the environmental consequences of expansion. Now that we know the full extent of the damage it would cause, I am firmly behind the Liberal Democrat position. So these Twitter trolls are a good sign, because it shows that we already have the Tories worried. I would be far more worried if they weren't attacking me at all. In the past, Liberal Democrats have been squeezed in the mayoralty by the assumption that it will be a two-horse race between Labour and the Conservatives. With the Tories having such a weak candidate, I am confident that in 2020 it will be a two-horse race again, but we will be one of the horses. So, with the current mayor failing to deliver on important issues, with the Conservative candidate out of touch with Liberal Londoners, with neither party putting London or the country's interests first when it comes to Brexit, 2020 really does present a unique opportunity for the London Liberal Democrats. I know that with the right manifesto, with this wonderful team, with the help of each and every one of you in the room, we can run the winning campaign that will energise local parties, engage all our members across London, and that will excite voters and communities we've not managed to excite before. That will put us, the Liberal Democrats, firmly back on London's political map. I look forward to sharing that journey with all of you. Thank you very much.
Now, just take your seats for a moment. We're just going to take a few photographs. Your demand better, demand bonita. My voice is well croaky. Do
you want me down there?
Can we fill up this alleyway, yeah? Can people gather around the front a little bit, yeah? Make a little horseshoe around, yeah?
Sure. If we had some which were without having the cards as well.
Hello. How are you? Winning here as well, by the way. Can we gather in a little bit around these spaces, yeah?
I know. I'm sure you have even more out. Do you want to come to the fire? No. Absolutely no wish
Sorry. Lovely, thank you.
And of course, you've got our campaign team, Ed Davies, campaigning and starting us off. Say hello to everyone over here. 1 minute. And of course, you've got Ed Davies over here.
Hi,
congratulations.
thank you, mate. Well done to you. Really, really good.
Thank you so much. And that is our MP, as you know. Go on, tell people, how do you feel that Siobhan has done?
Siobhan got a massive vote because she is inspiring people on the possibilities of a London without Brexit, but also real policies to tackle knife crime, to get affordable housing and to get much better transport.
And of course, you're speaking to somebody who's been championing migration issues. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. And that's a lived in policy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Not yet, no.
It's been absolutely lovely to be here. So yes, this is the London Liberal Democrats Autumn Conference. And it's been a lovely day, as you can see. Many, many thanks to everyone who is watching us. Tim McNally, I can see you. Many, many thanks who has been here with us. And we appreciate every single key speaker, all the organizers, the London Regional Executive, and all the candidates that have been selected. We love you all and we wish you the best as you campaign for better London for us all. We demand a better London for all of us. So London Liberal Democrats demand better for London. So we thank you for everything that you have watched us, and we love you so much. Demand better for London for all of us. Until then, we will catch up with you all, and it's a good night from us, London Regional Executive. We thank you so much for this year's London Executive 2018. It's been a pleasure serving. And you're watching live, reporting live today, Juliet Makapila, and I'm the Diversity and Inclusion Officer for London. So thank you so much to everybody who has been watching as well. I will not mention all the names here today. I will say thank you, but I can see all of you, everyone watching from Kenya, everyone, Afzal, I can see you, many thanks for watching as well, William, Mudali, Sarah, and everybody who has come along and helping us. If you can help share this video, we appreciate you. Many, many thanks for everything. We love London. London demand a better city. I finish off with that. That's speak soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Speak soon. Thank you so much. We've had it all, and it was a really lovely day. Speak soon. If you'd like to hear more from our what London is doing, please look at Lib Dems. Look at Lib Dems. Thank you. Sorry, look at London Lib Dems. I repeat, at London Lib Dems. Thank you. We love you all, and that is London Autumn Conference. London Autumn Conference. Thank you so much to everyone watching, and again I repeat, we want you to also vote for us at the mayoral election. So speak to all of you. Speak soon. Bye bye.
work off one bonus. And we get Sarah with cash.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you can pay that one.
Big cash.